You know how people say you can't cheat the process? Well, the Pittsburgh Steelers have been cheating the process for years. Let's face it, no franchise in football violates the laws of logic quite like the Pittsburgh Steelers. Bad offense? Check. No franchise quarterback? Check. Mediocre roster? Check. And somehow, back-to-back 10-win seasons. How? Black magic, dark arts, voodoo? There's just no real explanation. Let me give you a stat that doesn't feel real at all. The Steelers have led at halftime in just 10 of their last 34 games. Yet they've won 20 of them. That's absolutely not sustainable. That's not even normal. Here's how their offenses the last 2 seasons rank among 61 offenses to post double-digit wins in a season since 2020. Out of 61, they rank 59th and 60th in yards per play, 58th and 59th in success rate, and 56th and 60th in EPA per play. Do a quick regression analysis on the Steelers' offense the last 2 years, and you'll find an offense that should be leading a team to 6 or 7 wins tops in a season, not 10 wins in back-to-back years. They're doing it because of turnovers and close game voodoo. They were plus 16 in turnover margin last year after plus 11 in 2023. Their 15-6 record in one-score games over the last 2 seasons is third best in the NFL, behind the 2 teams that keep meeting in the Super Bowl, the Eagles and the Chiefs. But unlike those teams, the Steelers have no elite offense, they don't have a top-tier quarterback, and they have no playoff wins to show for it. So let's talk about the quarterback situation, because Pittsburgh had nearly a decade to find a successor for Ben Roethlisberger, and they botched it, worse than any other team did in modern NFL history. From 2017 to 2021, while Ben openly talked retirement, the Steelers drafted 0 quarterbacks in the first 2 rounds. In 2020, the year they needed a quarterback more than ever, they traded away their first rounder. And at pick 49, they drafted Chase Claypool. Jalen Hurts went just 4 picks later. And since 2018, the Steelers have spent exactly 1 pick in the first 6 rounds on a quarterback. That was Kenny Pickett, and he's gone. So now enter 41-year-old Aaron Rodgers. He's their hope. He's their Band-Aid. But it's an illusion. Rodgers isn't Rodgers anymore. In 2024, Russell Wilson, yes, Russell Wilson, was better than Rodgers across most major statistics. Unpressured dropbacks, advantage Wilson. Yards per attempt, advantage Wilson. Completion rate, accuracy, EPA, success rate, third down conversion rate, all advantage Russell Wilson. Aaron Rodgers averaged just 4 air yards per completion, the same as Cooper Rush and rookie Drake May. He throws it quick, he throws it short, he throws it safe. And that definitely helps avoid sacks for sure, but it also limits explosive plays and demands 12-play drives just to score points. And behind a young, somewhat shaky offensive line, that could be a huge risk. Let's talk about that line. They have 3 starters from the 2024 draft, 1 from 2023, and 1 veteran who led all guards in hurries allowed last year despite playing 14 games. There is upside, but there's also real concern. And Arthur Smith, of course, he's still calling plays, but he's the first non-Aaron Rodgers hand-selected play caller for a while. Last year, the Pittsburgh Steelers ranked 32nd in yards per play on first down, 31st in success rate, and 28th in EPA. These numbers were statistically worse than Matt Canada. Yes, Matt Canada when he was calling plays for the Steelers. Even worse, Pittsburgh averaged just 0.92 points per drive in the first quarter. That was 30th in the NFL. Over the last 100 games, they've scored just 10 opening drive touchdowns, dead last in the NFL. So how does this season end? Probably how most Steelers seasons end lately. Competitive in September, overwhelmed by December, maybe a playoff game, definitely a playoff loss. The Steelers have made the postseason 5 times since 2017. They're 0-5. They have the worst playoff record of any team with 5 appearances in that span. And this year's closing schedule is brutal. A short week road game in Cincinnati, a cross-country Sunday
night football game against the Chargers,
the Bengals who are off of a bye, the Bills and the Ravens who are each off of mini byes, and the Lions with another rest disadvantage after the Steelers played Monday Night Football. That's 5 games with a rest or travel disadvantage, all against playoff caliber teams. It is a gauntlet. One they're unlikely to survive with a 41-year-old quarterback, a bottom-tier offense, and a defense that can't keep bailing them out forever. But here's the scary part. If they win enough to finish 9-8 or so, it's not bad enough to draft a quarterback next year, but it's not good enough this year to matter. It's quarterback purgatory. And the Steelers live there now, more than any other team of late. They've convinced themselves and sometimes us that it's working. But until Pittsburgh makes finding a real long-term quarterback their top priority, they'll win enough battles, but each season they'll lose the war and they'll miss out on finding their next field general, which is really the only thing that will get them back to a 7th Lombardi trophy. Think you're ready for the NFL season? Not without this. 586 pages of straight up football intelligence and predictions for the 2025 season, featuring the sharpest analysis, betting edges, and fantasy insights in the game. Go to sharp.football and level up.